Saturday's formal sessions means Huzur has already delivered 4 speeches at this year's Jalsa Salana. However, the day's work is far from done. Overflowing delegations have arrived at Huzur's makeshift office. Among the groups are 2 sets of American dignitaries.
Some of these staff members who were female asked about what is the opportunities for women. Huzur said that they're educated, there are many doctors, architects and lawyers who are women. In fact, the president of the Lajna in the UK is a pediatrician or a doctor, rather, Huzur mentioned. And Huzur said that this is proof that they have an independence, they're not in the shadow of men.
He's a very personable, very cordial, loving person, and that came across in our meeting with him.
Well, it was wonderful. I was honored, that I had the opportunity to meet with His Holiness and have a little chance to interact and have a discussion with him. So he was asking each one of us for what we thought about Jalsa Salana. My observation, which I told him, was that I really feel the peace and love here. I keep hearing true Islam. And I said, I really think that your community is right on, that you are true Islam.
Another of the delegations is from Canada.
In this mulaqat was the minister responsible for education, minister for mental health, and another member of provincial parliament. Huzur reminded all 3 elected representatives in the room that the government has a responsibility, and your government should play a model role towards your responsibility to the people you represent.
Even a few spare moments before the Maghrib and Isha prayers are not wasted, as Huzur decides to tour the Jalsa site. On spotting the new moon, he follows the practice of the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and offers dua. Huzur now walks through the flags to the Al-Hakam exhibition. Next, Huzur turns to the Review of Religions marquee. Sunday evening. This year's Jalsa Salana has ended, but Huzur's work certainly hasn't. Almost as soon as the proceedings conclude, Huzur graciously grants formal photos to several groups. Immediately after, meetings begin with a dozen or so delegations, which will continue right up until Maghrib and Isha. One group includes leaders from the indigenous peoples in Canada.
The other chief there from Cumberland House, he gave an eagle feather. Eagle feather is a representation of friendship, and it's also a representation of being a leader and having an accomplishment. So if you receive an eagle feather, it's one of the highest honors in our indigenous beliefs.
Others include Muslim guests.
He gave us hope, actually. His bright smile and the nice gesture. He just gave me this really fatherly and just a great, close emotion. I felt really comfortable. I was able to say what was in my heart.
Alhamdulillah, I feel inspired. I feel the spirit in me when I have his hand shaking. And I'm very happy to meet him. And I pray to Almighty Allah to give him long life, to give him good health, inshallah, bikratillah.
On seeing the scale of Huzur's responsibilities, even some of the guests are mystified.
To a certain extent, this must be an extreme load for him, really difficult. And I just tried to ask him if he's sleeping well, and he said it's no problem because he is under the guidance of Allah, of course.
After Isha, Huzur attends the final public engagement of the day, a series of Nikah marriage ceremonies where he leads the silent prayers. Monday morning, Huzur is back in Islamabad, where a marquee has been erected outside his office. A delegation of Spanish guests are sharing their thoughts on the Jalsa Salana, when the discussion turns to a very serious subject: how one should react the murder of a relative.
कह रहे हैं कि मुश्किल सवाल है उनके लिए आपको ये पूछना अगर आप पर ये होता आप क्या करते अगर आपको ये हादसा
होता तो जो कानून के दायरे में रह के उस मुल्क का कानून है उसके अंदर जो कार्रवाई हो सकती थी करते और अगर इस्लामी कानून चलता है किसी मुल्क में जो मुसलमान रहते हैं जहाँ तो वहाँ इस्लामी कानून के तो हमने तो इस वक्त तो हमारी तो गवर्नमेंट नहीं यही है ना हुकूमत जिस हुकूमत में रह रहे हैं उस मुल्क का जो कानून है उसके तहत जो भी मैक्सिमम कोशिश हो सकती है मुजरिम को सज़ा दिलवाने की सज़ा दिलवानी चाहिए ताकि दूसरों के लिए सबक हो माफ़ करने का सवाल ही कोई नहीं.
The rest of the morning is filled with a dozen or so smaller delegations in Huzur's office.
¿Cómo se siente la presencia de Dios siendo consciente que es representante para toda la humanidad?
How do you feel as the representative of God and being the Khalifa of so many people?
How do I feel? अल्लाह ताला ने स्पुर्द कर दिया काम इसलिए काम करना है और एक बहुत बड़ा बोझ है तो खौफ ही रहता है अल्लाह ताला ने जो जिम्मेदारी डाली है उसका बोझ अदा हो भी रहा है कि नहीं.
One recurring theme is the impact of Huzur's message during his Lajna address.
And what I liked very much, and I think something that it should be as an example for other communities, is how you, the place of the education here and how you celebrate new young people to encourage them to study
and to have better education and excel in education.
Yeah, and especially for girls when it was done in the same level as for the boys. It's great.
Yes. Even our girls' literacy rate is better than boys.
It's 21st century, everywhere is that like this. Yeah, and
I think our girls, even in underdeveloped countries, in Pakistan, in Rabwa, our girls' literacy rate is 99% and boys' literacy rate is 90%. Allegations raised against us, or we are denying the rights of our women, but at the same time, we are not denying the rights, but our way of giving them their due right is different. But they are at par with men. UK's naval chief was also present during my women's address. And after that, he said to me that your address, you were very direct. Yeah. So I said, this is how, I'm not a politician, this is why I have to be direct.
No, I found it inspirational. I think one of the biggest things that affects society is pride. And I think that the advice that you gave to women supersedes all that.
Yes. Anyway, the future of the nation is in women's hand.
That is true.
So now, if you want your country to progress, prosper, then you can do it. If women want their country to be doomed, then they can do it.
Understood.
After 4 consecutive hours of delegations, Huzur leads the Zohar and Asr prayers, following which he graciously announces more than 20 nikahs. Soon after, the back-to-back engagements continue. Today, there will be approximately 80 family mulaqats, triple the normal schedule, and again, these continue until Isha prayer.